Google just dropped their latest model, Gemini 3.5 Flash. It is a really interesting release, so I want to dig into this with you a bit more. So first of all, if you look at the code arena, which is really measuring the front-end development skills, it's now Google's best model, which is not what you really expect for the Flash model. And if you look at the pricing has really changed. So I pulled together here the pricing changes history for different Gemini models, and we can see that now the latest Flash model is getting pretty close to the Gemini Pro line, which is not what you'd expect. But let's see, we're all about testing in the real world here. So I've got a few proxy tests for you to have a look at with me, and let's see what it's like. So the kind of tests that I want to do are something like this, where we put in a prompt, we get two models generated side by side, and this is a real code you can have a look at, and we get these kinds of generations. So in this case, it's a pretty fun prompt for a game, for a shooter game. We've got two generations here, Opus and then Kimi there as well, which I can show you. And then this is, by the way, how we derive the rankings, is that you vote and then you judge which one is better, and then this is how we can work out which model is better. And I really like this because it really gives us a lot of freedom to really explore which models do better, all kinds of different tasks. So today we've got quite a lot of tests, so let's see how many we're gonna get through. I think before we used to have like 100. I think I'm up to 323 tests now. I'm not gonna take a look at all of them, but see how many we can get through. I must say, the Flash model that they released has some of my favorite generations created, but also some weird stuff. So let's see. And I want to share a few observations I've got about this that you can immediately see once you have a look at a few of them. So this is a very simple prompt. This is meant to be like a cyclist, SVG, and it's like a moving SVG. So it's quite an interesting capability test, and you can see a lot of models like pretty good at it now. If you go with the slightly older models, they kind of fall apart. But take a look at this. So this is what Gemini 3.1 Pro did before, Gemini 3 Pro. They're all kind of very condensed. But in here, once you look at Gemini 3.5 Flash, same prompt, but it's starting to add all of these buttons. Like, that was never in the prompt, and it's really coming up with all of those different ideas about what to do, and it's really built the whole cycling up, which is really not what I've asked. Now, whether you like this or not is really, I guess, up to you, depends what you're trying to do, but this is something to note. This is going to come up once and once again, but this is definitely not a obvious type of behavior. So I want to keep our eye on that kind of behavior where it does a lot more than we ask. So let's take a look at some more complex prompts and see if it can really hold its own in these kinds of complicated ones. And I would say it's starting to, like, the cracks start to appear, right? So in here, there's supposed to be a bunch of cars here. We've got like slightly weird water. It's not completely bad, but I mean, traffic missing is pretty bad. I guess they're all in the traffic jam there. Yeah, so there's something like, it's not a model that does everything perfectly. So I also want to look out for that whether it's trying too hard in certain ways, but it's actually falling apart on others. So for example, you see that, and Google shared this as well, that the Flash model does better than 3.1 Pro in certain cases, on certain benchmarks. But in here, I would say it wasn't anywhere near. There's a lot of broken in the Flash generation, which is not broken in the Pro generation. You can see the cars, you can see the clearer layout and so on. But if you compare the number of buttons, certainly Flash model did a lot more. I would say it seems to be better than the 3 Pro model. It's kind of, at least Opus, Didn't do too badly if it got the bridge direction right. But it certainly is better than some of the open source models, for example, that we're seeing. Although before it was nice to compare Flash to open source models because they were kind of similar price point, although now I'm not sure that that's a kind of fair comparison anymore. So I want to keep looking at a bunch of other prompts that would be interesting to take a look at. And this is kind of a good example. So every other generation that you get here is starting off with the actual thing that we've asked for. But when you see, and these are like, there's so many which are really, really nice generations. So I like this prompt. But like in here, it starts off with like, enter the sanctuary. So again, this is kind of very unusual, odd behavior. It does, like, the generation is really nice, by the way. Like, I'm not criticizing that part. Like, I think it is actually probably better than a bunch of these ones. Like, for example, probably better than Gemini 3.1 Pro. So it's a kind of interesting that it is actually better. And but it said that this kind of random stuff that we didn't ask for, which is kind of odd. I don't know if you can hear. Oh yes, maybe I'm gonna mute it. But that was another thing that I found, is that you can see the sound here. It does add quite a bit of sound as well. So it's like I'm starting to see some patterns here. Like whether you like this or not is, I guess, matter of what you're doing. Maybe if it's a kind of app where if they're taking it into the direction that you just give it any prompt and then it just does everything, I think that would be a great model. If you're actually trying to do something that that you're in control of, it seems to be doing like way more than you'd expect. So I picked this because I want to show you as well when it fails. And there seems to be like this kind of instability in the generations that we see sometimes with smaller models. So the Gemini 3 Pro here doesn't do as well on the benchmarks, but here the generation is really excellent. And we want this kind of combination between the landscape and the caravan here going through. So yeah, Opus here generation is really good. Yeah, so I mean, this one is quite weird, but yeah, so you can see, and already like weaker models start to fall apart on this one. But I would definitely say like this is a rather poor generation. Like this doesn't make sense at all. So there's definitely something to keep in mind on. Sometimes it tries quite a lot and it does excellent generation, but also sometimes it kind of falls apart a little bit. So that's kind of couple of things that we're picking up about this model. Let's keep going. Oh yes, this was quite interesting. There is one dimension that I really like about this model that is different. So I'll actually start off with, I'll show you a few others and I'll come back to the Flash model. So this is Petra, and it's like showing the treasury, and this is quite nice generation, and they'll kind of look approximately the same. I mean, they're like some more detail, some less detail, but you can see they all kind of look about the same. I mean, that's a bit of a wonky one. Varying quality, that's quite bad, but you can see that they all look about the same. Now let's take a look at this one and see what we've got here. We've got the whole construction, the whole kind of a stone surrounding it. And if you haven't been there, like that might look a little bit weird, but this is actually correct. This is actually what we want, ultimately. And I kind of don't expect it anymore. But the fact that it built the whole environment around it, this is maybe the good side of being this agentic. Maybe I didn't ask for this in the prompt exactly, but the fact that no other model, even like higher ranking models like Opus, for example, never built this kind of whole entrance. So this is interesting to me. This is different. And again, by the way, the only model to do the sound as well. I'm not gonna play the sound to you, but that feels like something that the model likes to do. And again, here I'm not gonna dwell on this too much, but again, just to show you, these are like SVGs of the race car, and in here we've got like a whole system, which is kind of like, I don't know, I'm not sure whether I like this or not. This kind of super agentic behavior, I guess it's good sometimes, but also bad in other ways. Let's take a look at, I know the voxel generation is quite popular, so let's take a look. Yeah, it's quite again with the like lots of UI and buttons that I definitely do not like, but like pretty decent generation. Like it's pretty coherent, pretty well put together. I would say this one is more expansive with the Gemini 3.1 Pro, so I think this feels better to me. Opus maybe like a little bit richer, 4.6 maybe not so much. I really like this. There's some issues here, but like the whole city feels the kind of more put together. Yeah, and there's some weaker ones later on, but the if we come back to this one, I think it's like not bad. Like it's certainly not the best one, but I would say it is up there in terms of the quality. So let's skip through a few of these. Oh yes, this was another one where if you saw, remember what I mentioned about this kind of entrance that had built up for one of the previous prompts, we've got this kind of very similar idea where we've got the previous Gemini Pro, like, so this Gemini 3 Pro, right? Pretty simple generation, and others kind of look similar as well. But then when we look at the Flash, we've got this kind of whole, I mean, this was a little bit weird. I don't know if you saw the kind of the windmill kind of went around. Oh yeah, there it goes. So it's not completely perfect, but it created a whole different perspective, which again feels like the only model that actually did this. So if you look at others, they're mostly flat, but this one seems to have really created this kind of whole system. Again, don't know if you like it, but that's what it does, which is really quite unique. I want to show you some bad ones as well. So again, with the button to start, I would say this is not a good generation, and you can see why as well. It's like the base is not coordinated well with the rest, and I guess it does have things like, for example, people moving, which is interesting. Again, this kind of agentic and very active behavior, which is not what we see with other models. And they kind of put this statue as well, which I guess maybe used to be there someday. But yeah, not there right now. But if you compare it to others like Gemini 3 Pro, I quite like the whole vibe. But you see the people are static. So that's interesting, this kind of agentic push that we see. No other model does this in a very agentic way. But yeah, like Opus 4.6 here is probably the best generation-ish. Although yeah, I do quite like some of the GPT ones as well. But yeah, you go with the open source models and they start to fall apart a little bit. Yeah, nothing from use. So yeah, this kind of a combination that here is like clearly something's broken, but it does seem to like try to push it a little bit further, which is quite nice. I think there's probably, let me show you this quickly. I think this is also like a good example of like really this kind of movement and action that I saw. So like in here, this is probably actually the best one I remember. So we can see the light. I mean, it's not completely perfect, but yeah, maybe not. Maybe I kind of got a bit too excited. But we can see that there is actually fire under the balloons. But yeah, it's like a little bit disconnected. But you can see the action, right? So, but if you look at others, I mean, they're sort of, I mean, they are moving, but somehow the action is like a little bit not quite as kind of full on as with the others, with the new Gemini model. So interesting. Let's kind of keep this in mind. I want to keep moving. Actually, I'll show you this one because I think that one was a particularly nice one. So this is probably, again, I'm gonna regret saying this, but I think this is probably the state of the art for this prompt that I saw, that I remember generating. It's maybe like a little bit, again, like a little bit too active, but you can see the quality of the generations here. Like I really like this, the whole thing with the river, with the positioning. I think this is really, really excellent. If you look at, so this is Gemini 3.1 Pro, like controls a little bit weird. The whole thing is less rich, which is kind of interesting, right? So presumably it's a bigger model, but somehow the whole arrangement is less rich. So 3 Pro here is like quite weird. Opus like not as good as Flash, I would say here. Another Opus like much worse. So yeah, in this case, like Flash seems to have done quite a bit better. GPT 5.4 like a little bit odd, but yeah, some elements like not too bad. Yeah, and we can skip for others as well. So yeah, like for some generations, seems to do like exceptionally well, like really, really good job. Yeah, I mean, we can keep going with these kinds of very agentic ones. So for some, it does really well. It seems to really add a lot of these kind of extra buttons, especially like SVGs are just crazy. Yeah, I'm not playing you the music, but each one I can assure you has music. So in here, maybe, I don't know, should I play you the music? I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, maybe not this one. Oh yeah, play the. Can you hear this? Okay, I hope not. This is bad. But yeah, oh wow, what's going on here? But yeah, this is Gemini 3 Pro, and you can see what the difference in like Opus here is a nice generation, really nice. But this one like seems to be really be like almost like a cartoon. So yeah, which is very, very impressive. If you're after that sort of thing. I want to show you, I've tried generating like a few games with it because I thought that would be interesting to see how good it is at games. So let's see, I haven't quite played like all of them yet, but I want to really see the playability. And when I was trying some, it was like getting like a little bit confused. So I wouldn't say like games have really like have been solved with this. So yeah, we can see, so this is the previous Flash version, which is like way cheaper. So yeah, the 3.5 definitely is better. Ooh, yeah, this is rough. So this is, yeah, this doesn't really work. Yeah, let's see if Opus does any better. Yeah, this is kind of, it's like slightly wonky, the mechanics here. Yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, I mean, give me, yeah, that's not very good. So you know what, like out of these ones, like I would actually say the 3.5 Flash, I don't know if you like the visuals, but the playability, I can tell you, playing it feels better than others. So I would say it's like at gaming, I mean, let's play a few more maybe, but so far, at least that generation was better. Ooh, oh no. Okay, let me switch this off. This performance is gonna kill me. So yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, I haven't had enough time to generate like too many of these. I know that's a little bit dark. Oh yeah, that's good. So this is the Gemini 3.5 Flash here. So it's a kind of it's a little bit slow. Yeah, I find that for a lot of LLM-based games, the mechanics like a little bit boring, kind of off. Like if you played this game, I mean, unless you're 5 years old, like, I mean, you probably get bored as a 5-year-old, but this like hardly feels like a game. So I think for a lot of them, the mechanics feel like kind of boring. But you see, like versus this one, this is Gemini 3.1 Pro. I don't know what's really going on here, but it's not doing anything too good. So yeah, kind of tentatively, I would say like at least it does look. Let's try a few more. Ooh, and the controls are hard here. I think it's like confusing up and down or something, or maybe I'm confusing up and down. But yeah, this meant to be Paris. It's not bad. Oh, 3 flash. So this is the previous version, and the controls are worse. But yeah, it's like interesting, right? So this is Gemini 3.1 Pro, and it does feel worse in terms of at least the quality of the graphics, but the controls here are better. So that's kind of interesting. I guess on gaming, I'm not completely convinced it's like a lot better. So yeah, some things are better, some things are worse. Oh, that's quite nice. I do like the. Well, I was gonna say I like the controls here, but then it's not moving anyway. So yeah, maybe not so much. Oh yeah, this is better. Yeah, so far like at least a few. Let's not be too conclusive here, but it looks like the Gemini 3.1 Pro has like better feel of control. So it maybe seems like it's understanding better. Like that hardly a good game, but that feels at least like something is happening, that I'm not just crashing, and that's it. Right, I want to just keep playing these games. I hope this is not boring to watch, but yeah, it's fun to play. So again, but this is maybe third or fourth in a row where 3.5 Flash created better UI and I think richer world, but I would say 3.1 Pro feels like a better control, better game almost. I've got Mimo here. It's not. Yeah, this is definitely noticeably worse. But yeah, if you compare it to this, it's kind of fun. It drives around. Maybe the whole environment is richer, but the controls are just like not good here at all. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Not sure what this is telling us exactly, but yeah, it's a kind of an interesting dimension to explore in terms of gaming side. Now, the last thing I want to focus on is this kind of website, so web UI. And I've got a few different generations here, which is kind of interesting, odd websites. So I want to have a look to see how it did. So in here, for example, we've got a theater stage rehearsal site. So it's kind of more. So it's a experimental theater production preparing for opening night. So I don't know about you, like I don't like this at all. Like this kind of, I don't know, very kind of design. So this is 3.5 Pro. I don't know. There's something about this I don't really like. 3 Flash, like yeah, not much better, but yeah, 5.5 high here. So this is the GPT model, and not the best models at UI, but at least like that feels like, I mean, there are a lot of issues with this, but it doesn't feel like this kind of a heavy mess. So what I wanted to look at is this. See, that's quite cool. So Kimi K 2.5, I think I actually did the most creative job here. That feels probably the best version. So not even the latest Kimi model, which is pretty cool to see. Let's have a look at a couple of others. So City Parade Route Planner website. So what we want here is something like creative, engaging, that kind of thing. Gemini 3.5 Flash. And I don't know about you, like that doesn't feel kind of creative. Colors quite jarring, like a lot of, like doesn't feel like nice design here. So this is Opus 4.7 thinking. Right, this is like so much better. Like this, to me, this feels fun, it feels engaging, things floating around. Like, would you rather look at this or this? I think the answer is pretty clear here. And we've got also Quen 3.6 Plus. Not bad. You know what? I actually like this better than the Gemini generation personally. Like that feels kind of cleaner to me. Actually, quite a lot better. So yeah, let's see what else. So far, I would say it's kind of the picture is emerging, right? So for some of the 3D generations and like SVGs, I think the Gemini model's been really, really even like crushing Opus, I would say sometimes. But like now looking at these websites, I'm glad I did them because I think it's very clear that it's not as good. Like and things like kind of a little bit misaligned. Yeah, and then looking at Gemini 3.1 Pro here, yeah, it's kind of both not very interesting, but compare this to Opus 4.7, like this is nice. This is a nice website. Like I think things are tasteful, they're not overcrowded. Like in here, it's kind of, yeah, boxy, structured badly. Wouldn't say Gemini 3.1 Pro is like a lot better. And then even Mimo, like that feels like a nicer website to me. And then Quen 3.6 also, like a kind of nicer website. I know, I feel like this agentic kind of push maybe is really like not doing that well for the Gemini models in the website creation. Because like in here, this is like less agentic, I would say, it's trying to do less stuff. And that really looks a lot better to me from that perspective. So let's just do, I just want to have a look at like one or two more. And we had like over 300, so I think we are doing well. So this was a prompt. Yeah, this is like a toy inventor workshop. And we kind of want something fun, something creative. But once again, like this is kind of hard. I wouldn't want to have a website like this. Things are misaligned, things are heavy. Like this is 3 Flash. I mean, improvement on 3 Flash to be fair, but not amazing. And this is Sonnet 4.6, like pretty good model, not the best, but like I would say this is better, right? Feels cleaner. A lot of like kind of annoying colors and so on, but pretty clean. If we look at 5.5 high, like I think again, maybe not the best that you can imagine, but this feels to me like a much better website here. So this feels kind of nicer that you might want to have. So yeah, again, I'm not loving this at all. So the UI for the websites specifically feels kind of weak to me. Let's compare to Opus. Like again, Opus like a little bit sloppy elements, but much better. Yeah, print shop. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is, yeah, kind of looks bad. Okay, this is GPT 5.5 high. Kind of some weirdness, but at least it's tried to be creative. And there are definitely things like coming out of the frames. And this is Quen 3.6, kind of tasteful, but not particularly engaging. So yeah, I think they all had different approaches, but yeah, I would say GPT there was better. So what have we learned? So I would say what I found particularly interesting is that feels like quite a different model to others. It feels like it's much more agentic. It's trying to do way more than other models, especially if you look at some of these SVGs, which are pretty crazy. But it does certainly flip out sometimes. It just not do a good job ultimately. So we definitely have seen some generations where it just like I don't know, just doesn't do what you actually expect it to do, and just is kind of broken. And this is a good example. I don't know what's happened here. Oh yeah, finding out the tail coming from the side. So you can kind of try too hard and kind of fail, which is not what you want really. And then also, I would also say that it's a kind of maybe interesting developments on gaming side, but certainly not nailed it. But it seems to be kind of trending in the right direction. But where it seems to really have fallen down is on that kind of web UI side of things, where we have looked at some generations and some of them are just like not good at all. Well, I would say I haven't actually seen any good generations. when you compare to even GPT models and Opus models, like it's nowhere near, and even the open source models, which is interesting to me. So it's a kind of, that feels like really different model to others. So I hope you can go in the Arena, test some of it for yourself. I would really encourage you. I think for this model specifically, it is really worth trying it out. Try it out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.